no change. Real friend don't.
Morning wake up routine songs. Nas and Damian Marley, Distant Relatives. Decided to keep the phone. It's actually part of my mental health relationship to the collective psychosis, where it can prevent me from doing certain things. And cutting my hair was a no-no yesterday. But if it doesn't grow on me, I'll cut it off later today. But I'm getting started for the day, and it's just managing nerves and emotions within me. And I've been smoking non-stop, like for about a week now, 2 weeks, and all of a sudden I didn't feel like smoking anymore. So I'm not going to force myself. That's not the point of it. But I wanted to calm the nerves, calm the emotions, center myself, and also distract myself with something that would allow me to just get on with it, because there's always the chance, coming out of the morning fight with my physical health, my mental health, I'll fall over at those early hurdles when I go to get on with the task. If I'm distracting myself with something else, even if how can I put it? It's like, to be honest, making a live stream isn't the most helpful thing that comes to mind. In fact, it's like, I'll make this live stream and I'll find myself in the worst state, because it's actually better for me to be silent right now. Weighing up the downfalls, in other words, falling over those early hurdles of starting a task, or taking a hit from whatever it is that speaking will take from me. I've decided to take that hit and share a story with you. I've been trying to make it for about 2 days now. I had the realisation about a week ago, and then the second part came to me the other day, and it's like, it encompasses quite a few aspects of you wouldn't really call them esoteric spirituality, but you would call it understandable spirituality, in terms of just need to find my whacking stick so I can focus on that. There we go. So yeah, I mean, it's like concepts like flat Earth. When you hear that concept of inner Earth and the great central sun, and you look at our solar system and you realise science is a bit shit when it goes. It's not all encompassing. That's what I mean to say. So therefore, it's still a theory. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have some supplement, but that's going to require me to smoke. Well, almost certainly it's just to regulate my breathing. It increases the breathing flow, and I find smoking helps with it, so I'm probably going to smoke it after all. But yeah, the story encompasses pretty much a lot of those things, and I didn't think about it. You know, it's like my life stumbled upon this realisation. I don't know how it came to me, but you've got all of those theories that I've told you, and this basically ties them all together. That they're all possible realities for us in the near to distant future. Okay, I'm going to get my smokes, I'm going to make the rollie, and well, I'm going to get my smokes and then I'll start the story. The story starts, well, it started about 3-4 weeks ago. I went for a walk after dinner on the canals, and where it's a little bit out of London, you can actually see the sky at night instead of like a yellowy, grey, blacky sky. You can actually see the stars quite clearly. And it just got me thinking, you know, it's like, is there any other way to look at the sky? Because I've been getting the information that the sky's not real. The sky's a artificial construct by Arcturians. And Arcturians are basically responsible for the image we see there. So I've been playing with the idea, how can the sky be fake, you know? It's like, it's real. People have gone to the moon, we've sent satellites to, you know, further afield. And anyway, I was thinking, and one night I was walking, and as I said, the stars were out, and I started to think about them. And the idea of the Mayans came to me, because what the Mayans did, they did two things that are important to this. Firstly, they counted time, and to count time, one way or another, the sky is important, even at the bare minimum. Even if at the bare minimum we're talking about the sun and the moon, that's still time. And they took the time to count time all the way using beans, not with magic, but using beans, so actually doing the work, from all those thousands of years ago to modern day times, to say, right, this is the time, 2012, 2020 is the end of time. It just got me thinking, it's like a prison sentence, you know, it's like what prisoners do when they write on the wall, you know, mark each day. The Mayans were like, oh, we're in prison. How long are we going to be in prison for? And they did the effort. It's like, we don't need to count after that, we're set free. So it's not like parole, it's like, that's Freedom Day. And that's what the Mayans counted. But then it got me thinking about the Mayans as well, again, and that through their wisdom of astrology and time, because they were great timekeepers, you know, the Swiss have nothing in the Mayans. Well, the shaking's actually good for me. It's in a strange way, it's like the discomfort's getting a little bit less, so don't think I'm moving in the wrong direction here. But and I probably won't even be able to complete this story because my battery's running low. But hey, we'll do a part 2 later this afternoon. And essentially, forget about the 2 days missing in time and then all of that stuff. The crux of the Mayan calendar is a 13-day cycle that depicts a different god on each day. And what it really says, if you think about it a little bit, is that each of these days have a different energy. In other words, it's like, as a human being, we are affected differently in this way on this day, and we're just going to label it as a god for simplicity. And I was just thinking, you know, well, first of all, how is it possible that the Mayans were wise enough to realise that there's a message in the sky to take, you know, to count, to gain the wisdom from the astrology? And then I thought, well, hang on a sec, let's look at that 13-day energy thing a little bit deeper. And I got thinking that it's us, the human being, that's wrong. Yeah? Each of these days is a very distinct difference in terms of energy. So the earth goes through a cycle, and every 13 days there's a different energy on each of those days. And I was thinking, well, right, so in essence, there's one of two things that's happening here. Either we're wrong in the first instance as human beings to our home planet, so we're disconnected from Earth, and that's what got me into the next thing, so I'll come back to that. But is it society? Is it that, you know, to live a conscious life, we have to acknowledge that we're weak to nature, and that's simply nature. But it was the first idea that got me thinking, and that's we're wrong to our home planet. And that shouldn't be the case, really, should it? And in simplicity, I started to think, well, what is it that would make us wrong to our home? And then I realised that obviously there's been some sort of traumatic happening to planet Earth in terms of the energy field, or something that has affected the energy of the Earth, and in turn affects us as human beings now. And the minds were just like, yeah, we know what to do, we just count it and paint a bit different picture, make a calendar, we can chill out, and we can smoke our CBD hemp and sing and laugh on the correct day, and we can have a life, because they're smart guys, they're like the engineers of humanity, the minds. That's how their minds are, that's how I see it. So I started thinking about, what do I know in terms of trauma? What do I know in terms of my alternative therapy background? What do I know about my healing modalities? And it was almost like one of the therapies I practice in is EMF balancing technique, or practiced in. And in it, what it is, they have a picture of what the energy field looks like, and how it moves, and how it's structured, and how trauma, how events get stuck in that energy field. And I thought, from the perspective of Earth, the stars look a lot like balls of energy, and that's what the stars are, really. You point a microscope, telescope, and look at them, they look like something, but that's just an image. What are they is a ball of energy. And I got thinking, maybe because we're born and we don't remember our past, we don't remember our spiritual heritage. And in terms of spirituality, that's what I believe most of us should be able to do. When we incarnate on the planet, we just like know the history of the planet. Because we're attached, we're connected. It's our mother before our mother. And the amnesia that's talked about in spirituality so much, the veil of amnesia, is what this problem is. And what I visioned it as, because we have the Akashic Records, which is like a cave within the earth. A crystalline cave, so a cave with lots of crystals in it. And I believe the earth is meant to be centered. It's got an energy center within the cave, and something happened. And that energy went through the crystals out into the sky. And the theory is the earth isn't spherical. The earth was never spherical. The earth has become spherical. The earth has become a case of looking out because our vision is distorted. The energy that is disrupted within the earth that comes and flows through us and our bodies and our eyes has obviously dislocated the Atlas bone in humanity because we're born with a wonky Atlas bone. Tell me, why would the Atlas bone be wonky? Why isn't it straight? Why isn't it working as it should be designed to work? It just seems like the energies flowing up and out of the earth make us grow with an Atlas bone that's out of place because our eyes see reality and we grow to that reality. And as we grow, the one bone that gets a lot of trouble is the Atlas bone in our neck. Well, our spines, that's why we suffer with our spines. And as we grow, we grow to our eyes, which are now distorted as a result of the energy. And the last bone that has a problem is the Atlas bone. So it started to make a little bit of sense to me, and then I envisioned it like if our Atlas bones were born correct and we were walking with the correct posture on planet Earth, what we would witness is a great central sun. So in other words, our vision from being like a fisheye lens, which makes it look like it is, becomes a concave lens. And there's a permanent 24-hour day. There's no need for night. We don't rotate around the sun at a distance, ever. The earth doesn't spin. The earth is a flat earth, but it's also a concave sphere. So in other words, what we view as on the outside of the planet becomes on the inside. And right in the centre is a permanent sun. And our eyes change the way they see the world. And we see that 24 hours a day. So that ties in the flat earth, the great central sun theories. But it doesn't really tie in modern day reality, what we experience, what I see and look out, the sky that constantly moves. And the sky that constantly moves is that traumatic event of our past. And that's why I say the stars backwards, because our past is behind us in energy, in terms of my healing understanding and memory, and so it's all situated behind us. So if we're talking about the planet having a traumatic experience, what we see behind us, what we see in the sky is behind us, it's behind the earth. So technically we're suffering the earth's trauma. Just going to move into the back room and use up the last of my battery, see how far we get, and we'll continue part 2 later if there's needed. But what I envision is, as we evolve as a species, we'll be able to... This reality is a reality. Aliens are aliens. They're an incarnation of a reality that was already present as an energy to that great central sun concave concept of Earth. It was simply an energy. So in other words, whenever we did our lives, imagine this reality, imagine aliens invaded one day, it would be like a happening to the planet Earth in the other reality, but we wouldn't experience them as aliens. We'd experience them as just energy on some level. They might be a conscious being if we're that evolved in the other reality. But for all intents and purposes, aliens don't exist. But in this reality, aliens have been created because we've made an entire universe. And our wisdom isn't within us anymore. Our wisdom is our pain. Our wisdom is our trauma. Our wisdom is our past. So in other words, what is in the sky at night? What is in the sky in the day? Is the wisdom. So the wisdom will come from the stars. And as we evolve as spiritual beings, what I envision what will happen is this new reality that's been created out of pain and trauma will be healed. And as it's healed, because it now is present as a reality to humanity's existence, it becomes solid. There's no way you can say, oh, we're just going to go back to the great central sun idea and live there forever. No. What happens is that we'll be able to synergistically live in both realities at the same time. So in other words, we need to do the work as a species on a spiritual level to get ourselves to the point when we're almost in synergistic harmony in both realities. So whatever we would otherwise do in the reality of the great central sun, the perfection, because that's what the great central sun represents. And what it is, what is represented as an external universe that way in this reality that we live in is a reflection of the internal journey we could take when the reality of the great central sun was about. So in other words, internal meditation, internal inquiry. And because it's within ourselves, we can travel light years within ourselves in an instant. But to know the entire universe outside of ourselves in an instant is near impossible. It will take us millions and billions of years to explore and raise our awareness to all aspects of the entire universe and conscious beings and unconscious beings that exist and times and everything else to really be able to understand it that way. So it's not really practical to think about the universe. The best thing to do is think about the earth and keep the focus on the earth, because that's our portal back to the great central sun. And if we keep focused on the earth and this reality in present times and do the work, what I envision will happen. So I'm just trying to organise my mind how I'm going to tidy the room so I can function in this absolute tip. As we do the work, we'll feel the energy. We'll connect to the consciousness of perfection as a human race, and that perfection is the great central sun reality, the inner earth, the flat earth. But because we're doing it in this reality, the perfection will drag us towards it as we're doing the work, and things will get more painful because we'll need to clear more and more things. We'll get closer and closer to the crux of the problem, the original trauma. And when we finally heal that original trauma in this reality, we've done the work in this reality. So we go back to perfection, taking a whole new universe with us. And it's like whatever we do, because we've gone there through synergistic happenings, we'll have the ability to experience both realities instantaneously. And it's like we can go in and out of either reality at any second, and whatever we do in either reality becomes not a mirror, but not reflective, because a mirror is polarized. A mirror offers a different perception, but a direct vision of the other occurrence. Like a mirror, but a mirror, there's a name for it, a mirror that isn't, that shows you it the correct way round. And that's where we're heading to as a species, man. That's where we're heading to as planet Earth, but we need to do the work first. We need to start allowing ourselves to be pulled to perfection. We need to allow ourselves to be pulled to that original pain, that original whatever, that original whatever. And that's the story of the stars backwards. There's a lot there that needs to be explained and elaborated upon, but you get the basic idea. And that's my belief. And the Arcturians have put together a sky, responsible for the sky. See, this is me racking my brain to think how we can expand the wisdom of what has just been said even further. And we have friends in the sky from in this reality, but they know we have to do the work ourselves. That's probably why they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs in the sky, waiting for us to do the work, and at the right time they'll come and speak to us when we're in the right place. Otherwise we just need to get a space for ourselves to recalibrate. So yeah, that's the stars backwards. No need for part 2. My battery just lasted